Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and WWE issue number 4. This is your typical, really good issue of finding out the backstage drama of Seth Friggin Rollins. Probably one of the most popular characters out there right now. Guys, let's just put it this way. The first issue, Now, Then, and Forever, which was almost like an issue 0 to this WWE series, was good enough that it made me enjoy the idea. It started the downfall of the Shield, that I'm going to have to read this comic, this series. And the issues have all been good. This issue was just a little bit over the top in the good department. All right. So as good as all the other ones were, this one was special. It's not necessarily because of the main story though. All right. That's the thing. The main story was good. There was one silly scene where Triple H sends some truck drivers to go and block Seth Rollins in once he finally gets his clearance to wrestle, and he's got to be stopped. And you get to see how messed up he is at certain points, where you realize that Triple H is the guy who books all the matches, but you're still going to piss the guy off just to go and get a little bit of revenge. Like, it's not what's best for business. And there were better ways to do this. He is kind of coming in on his own, so you can't blame him for wanting to do what he does. All the things that he does to try and get out of Triple H's shadow. Triple H is a really hard boss. Storyline purposes, he's a really hard boss. In the meantime, we do get to see, like, the coolest thing about this main story is that you get to see why Kevin Owens actually gets that opportunity when Triple H walks in that fatal 4-way match and eventually hands that match doesn't actually happen in this comic. That's going to happen later on, maybe next issue. I'm not sure. Maybe the issue after that, but this is where you get to see how he earns that favor, why Triple H kind of says, okay, fine, I'm going to put the belt on you. I'm going to hand deliver it to you, Kevin Owens. So that was actually pretty cool. I'm glad I got to see that. I'm also really glad to see, unless you actually have been watching WWE for a little while now, R-Truth and Goldust are out doing something. They're talking about lures and actually, catching the hunting on their own. This is actually a reference to back when they were doing Pokemon Go for those couple of weeks, that month maybe. I was really happy to see that they kept all of this stuff in order. This was great. Guys, Dennis Hopeless is Dennis Hopeless. He wrote this and he's beyond reproach. The guy is amazing. Serge Acuna did a great job illustrating. Like, literally, the comic is exactly as good as it needs to be. It's just drawn expertly. I'm going to give a very special wow to Dan Mora, who did the cover. The Seth Rollins bullseye over top of Roman Reigns with the belt is so perfect. I actually want to see this as a poster. I would probably buy this. If I saw this poster, I would probably buy that. It was really that good. Dude deserves props for that. But Ryan Ferrer, and maybe I'm pronouncing his name wrong, Ferrier, and Clay McCormick did Welcome Home, which is the story at the very end. This is a Bray Wyatt story where he captures you. This is a point of view version of a story where you, the reader, me in this case, is actually captured by Bray Wyatt and his family, with Randy Orton there. And he's basically putting a sheet mask on you and making you one of his fireflies. And it is really good. It actually does come off as genuinely creepy, and that is a very hard thing to do in a comic. I'm not saying that I was actually scared reading this. This is not like reading Witches, but this was really, really good, especially for a short story. And there's also the extra caveat that puts it over the top. You actually get to see something of an image of Sister Abigail. I'm going to leave it at that and give this comic an A-. This was fantastic. Guys, if you're not reading this comic and you are a WWE fan, I have to question how much of a WWE fan you really are. Just putting that out there. This is really good, and seeing the backstory, I feel that especially with a story since, Seth Rollins in real life got hurt, and he missed the first, his last WrestleMania. He got to go to this one most recently, but yeah, this is really good to give the whole behind the scenes story because that storyline didn't get the attention that it deserved. Triple H is a busy man, COO. It is what it is, but this story really put a lot into perspective, and it's good. It's really good. I'm very happy with the way this story's turning out, and I hope to see more stories like this after this one finally runs its course. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.